just makes me my dad's text me
Today? Oh my gosh.
for like weeks since this morning. Yeah, right? My dad texted me this morning. I was in a meeting and I just noticed, and then a student texted me said, PLS, please. He was able to read it, please. And then he said, how do I turn off my phone? And I immediately got a text from him again that said, never mind, I got it. My mom doesn't even want a wallet. He's okay. He's making it. He definitely needs a call from my phone.
Oh, it's Carl.
Because he's from Kentucky.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I love it. It's awesome. Oh, sometimes it's usually my friends, or at least it's not that one. Do you really think that this is the friends it's not common? Do you really think that it's not No. Yeah. Well, it may say it on
He was done back in check. That's a college was here. So it might not be the actual.
But I think that was her record that she was checking.
Oh, January, which I'm not going to do.
Histories are being solved here.
Good afternoon. Welcome. Today, we gather to induct new members into two important Brevard College Honor Societies, Alpha Chi and Omicron Delta Kappa. I am James Everett, faculty sponsor of Alpha Chi and Omicron Delta Kappa, and I bid you all, parents, families, friends, staff, faculty, and inductees, a sincere welcome. Thank you for being here. I would like to introduce the leaders of this induction as they will appear in the program. Dr. Bradley J. Andrews, President of Brevard College. Dr. Jennifer Frick Rupert, Vice President for Academic Affairs and Dean of Faculty. Bunny Frost, a member of Alpha Chi. Sydney Rayburn, a member of ODK. We will be assisted by ODK and Alpha Chi leaders. Abby Fusler, ODK Faculty Secretary. Rebecca Rojas, Alpha Chi and ODK member. Thank you all for being a part of today's ceremony. I am pleased to introduce our speaker today, our very own President Brad Andrews. Dr. Andrews has a Bachelor of Arts in English from the University of Missouri-Columbia, a Master's in Education with a focus in higher education from Drake University, and a PhD in Educational Leadership and Policy Analysis from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Now in his 9th year as the head of a college, his 2nd year here at Brevard, Dr. Andrews began his higher education career in campus life before transitioning into vice president positions in enrollment, student life, academic resources, advancement, strategic enrollment, and student success, and then becoming president. President Andrews traditionally shares the opening remarks for our induction ceremony, and this year is also serving as our speaker. Please join me in welcoming President Andrews to the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone. So this is a wonderful and important ceremony for us because it allows us to take time and hold up some of the traits and characteristics and accomplishments and people that we celebrate and value most. So I want to formally congratulate all of you students and welcome you to the 2 most selective honor societies that we have here at Brevard College. As you can read in your program, Alpha Chi membership is limited to juniors and seniors whose cumulative GPA places them in the top 10% of their class. And ODK focuses on leadership and life outside the classroom, placing an emphasis on excellent leadership skills as displayed across campus. So on behalf of all of us, faculty, staff, the entire Brevard College community, we want to thank each one of you. We want to thank you for being leaders in the classroom and on our campus, and we also especially want to congratulate you on this recognition and honor which you have earned and which you deserve. So welcome and congratulations. But I also want you to know a little bit about what we celebrate most here today, I think. What we most look most fondly back on about you and your accomplishments, and also look most excitedly towards your accomplishments in the future. And so to get there, what I want to do is share a story with you and a piece of advice from that story. So the advice is going to be attack the hills. Attack the hills. So I run marathons. I've run 13 marathons. And it's a simple thing, really. It's not complicated. All you do is you start running, and you don't stop for 5 or 6 hours until you've run 26.2 miles. So it's pretty straightforward, but it does involve a lot of training. It takes about 4 months, hundreds of miles. It really is a 4-month race when you think about it. So you start running and you start training. You run about 100 to 200 miles a week, right? You have ups and downs. You have good runs and bad runs. You bonk sometimes. That is, you get to the place where you're completely out of energy mid-run and you have to sit on a park bench for a half hour to gather the energy to walk home without completing your run. You take a lot of time to do this training, right? You don't eat or drink things you like to eat or drink. You don't spend time doing things you'd rather be doing. So there's a lot that goes into a marathon. At my first marathon, I trained for 5 months. And I didn't know what to expect, really. So I trained for 5 months. I gave it my best. I'm pretty dedicated and committed. And what happened after all this training? I finished in 15,000th place. I finished 15,023rd in the Chicago Marathon, right? And also, not only did I finish at that place, but I also broke down and cried on the course, feeling a complete failure. Right, as you're running along in a marathon, at a certain point, for me it's about mile 18 or 19, every footfall, every step begins to be painful. Feels like a collision with the pavement, right? And so you're worried about physically seizing up and not being able to go forward, but really it's a mental thing. Can I take another step, and another step, and another step? And eventually, right before I completed the marathon, I said, no, I can't keep running. I started taking walk breaks, right? And then I just started walking. I was on the south side of Chicago in this race, mile 22. I remember this vividly. And you're running on like 4-lane roads, and everybody's running. There are thousands of people, and when you walk, you go over to the curb and kind of hang your head in shame a bit. And so I'm walking and I'm exhausted, I'm in pain, right? I'm feeling horrible. And there's this big, bald, bearded guy with a big baritone voice over on the side, and he's yelling out, "You got this, congratulations, we're so proud of you, you're looking great." And I'm walking along the curb and approaching this guy and not wanting to make eye contact and wishing I was on the other side of the street because I don't want him to have to deal with me walking. And so as I approach him, he comes up to me and he grabs me and he says, "I'm so proud of you. This is amazing. Look how far you've come. You've got this. You're going to finish this." Right? And so I ended up pushing through and finishing, I think to a large degree because of him and his belief and faith and just kind-hearted, good spirit. And so I finished. I finished the race, and I was 15,023rd, and I was just happy to have made it. And a bunch of people crossing the finish line, and there's a woman up ahead of me who's in her mid-60s, who is in a full bumblebee costume outfit. So I almost died on the course, and I ended up finishing behind a 65-year-old bumblebee, right? Like so this was my marathon experience, but I was so proud. I finished in the top third. There were 55,000 people who ran the race. I finished 15,000. I finished in the top third. That's pretty good. I broke 4 hours. 3 hours and 56 minutes. That's a 9-minute mile over the course of 4 hours. So I was pretty proud. And so to me, that was a huge success. And looking back on the lessons from that marathon, they've guided me throughout my life. And I think there are 2 chief lessons that I would share with you all today. The secret, I think, beyond talents and gifts, right, and intelligence and everything that you all have in spades, it's about hard work. It's about pushing through adversity. You are incredibly smart and talented, right, and excellent leaders, and there are always going to be people who are faster than you, right? And so the secret is about taking those gifts that you have developed, that you have worked on, that you've been blessed with, and combining those with hard work and pushing through. Even when it's hot, even when you've bonked, even when you're sitting on the park bench and you don't want to go back to work or research the project or whatever, right? Talents and intelligence combined with very hard work, that can't be beat. But the real secret ingredient, the tip that I want to leave you with, right, is as I look back, I had no business finishing in the top third of this marathon, right? But I did. And my secret was attacking the hills. As I'm running along on flat portions, I'm getting passed for hours and miles by hundreds and thousands of people. People are passing me, and it's disheartening at first, but then you just say, who cares, right? And you just kind of keep going. But on the hills, then it's not so much about talent and training. That's more about willingness. That's more about heart. That's more about pushing through. So I started to pride myself that race, and in the race's sense, that I'm not going to get passed on hills. That on hills, I'm going to pass people, right? Because hills are adversity. And everyone runs those hills. Everyone faces adversity, right? It's about pushing through difficulty. It's about dealing with things that aren't fair, right? Classes you weren't cut out to take, jobs that are challenging for you, professors or your bosses that are challenging, peers who don't inspire you, situations galore, right? All of us face adversity, everyone. And a key to success is attacking the hills. Is in adversity, as you're pushing through, it's hard to push through adversity. It's hard to attack the hills because you're running less fast. You're moving less far and with less speed than you typically do. You feel like you're underperforming. But you're not underperforming. You are facing adversity. So as you move forward, giving that hard work, combining that hard work with your talent and gifts, but also facing those hills and saying, you know what, even though I'm not going as fast as I typically do, even though I'm not getting the grade that I typically get in this class, even though I don't see the results, I'm going to give it my all, because on a relative basis, you're going to gain positions. when you attack the hills, you end up in a better position after the hill than when you went into it. When you push through adversity, you end up further along than you were when you entered that adversity. So that's the tip that I have for you. That's what I did. That's what I do. That's how I got inducted into ODK. That's how I earned degrees and ended up here. And so that's what I would share. So I just want to end by returning to the main point here of this ceremony, which is congratulating each one of you, right, on all your accomplishments. You all and what you have done and who you are, that's why we are here today. But also for all of us who work at Brevard College, you are why we are so proud to be here, working with you and seeing everything that you do. So we celebrate you. We celebrate how you've carried yourself. Certainly your academic and leadership accomplishments are noteworthy, and we have regalia to be able to signify that and know that you have our admiration. However, I don't want you to hear the message that we value you only when you have accomplished or achieved something. What we most appreciate and are most proud about you is your journey to get there, all that you've pushed through. When you've come up short, when you haven't given your best effort, but when you've kept going. To me, that's what I believe we really celebrate here today. Your journeys, your path, all that you have done and sacrificed, the ups and downs to get here today, so we have the honor to give you these cords and these stoles and to celebrate you. So, congratulations to all of you. We are so proud that you are Brevard College students. Thank you.
Thank you, President. I now invite to the podium Bunny Frost. Bunny was inducted to both Alpha Chi and Omicron Delta Kappa last year and is a psychology major. Bunny.
Thanks. Welcome, everybody. I would like to begin by recognizing the current campus members of Alpha Chi. Current members are listed in your program. For those who are present, please stand. Candidates for membership into the Brevard College chapter of Alpha Chi, please rise. These students standing before you have fulfilled all requirements outlined in your induction program necessary for admission into Alpha Chi. Their achievements show unmistakable progress in the academic and leadership excellence characteristic of Alpha Chi's past and present members. We applaud your accomplishments. Candidates, you and the many hundreds of candidates nationwide who will join this society in the 2023-2024 academic year, hold the future of Alpha Chi in your hands. We invite you to join together the light of your understanding and the seriousness of your academic pursuit by repeating after me in unison the Society's pledge, which is located in the program. I pledge myself to uphold the purposes of Alpha Chi, striving to make its ideals my ideals in scholarship and in service. Repeat it.
Purposes of Alpha Chi, striving to make my ideals in scholarship and in service.
Thanks. You may be seated. Alpha Chi members have achieved most of their academic success on the shoulders of mentors, caring people who quietly and faithfully contribute their whole person to the nurture of students. Inductees have asked faculty and staff to serve as their Alpha Chi sponsor as a way of saying thank you. I will call inductees forward. Sponsors, please come forward with your student and stand at the table at my right, where you will find the Alpha Chi pins. I will then ask sponsors to place the pin on their inductees' lapels. After receiving your pin, please step to the table to show your commitment to our Alpha Chi Society by signing the chapter's membership book. Once you have signed the membership book, you and your sponsor may return to your seat. We'll now call. So would Chandler Davis Bryson, Haley Lane Miller, and Dominic O'Brien please come up with your sponsors.
Yeah, I guess.
Next, we'll invite Rachel Piazzolla, Ken Shinsky, and Sophie Trenton to come up with their sponsors. All who have been newly pinned, please rise. I pronounce you members of Alpha Chi and welcome you into the fellowship of the Society of Scholars. We encourage you to wear your Alpha Chi pin often and to wear it as a symbol of your commitment to the worthy aims and ideals of Brevard College and Alpha Chi. I challenge each of you to make the Brevard College chapter of Alpha Chi an active and respected society on this campus. Always remember, Alpha Chi is our honor society. It will be what we students make of it.
Thank you, Bunny, and congratulations, Don. I now invite to the podium Sydney Rape. Sydney was inducted to Omicron Delta Kappa and Alpha Chi last year and is an art major. Sydney.
by recognizing the current campus members of Omicron Delta Kappa. The current members are listed in your program. For those who are present, please stand. Thank you. You may be seated. Candidates for membership into the Brevard College chapter of Omicron Delta Kappa, please rise. Our current members of ODK applaud your academic success, service to others, and growth as leaders. Our society exists to celebrate academics, service, and leadership. When you see the Laurel Crown Circle of the ODK Society, think exemplary conduct, unselfish service, and achieved excellence. Candidates, if you accept the ideals of ODK, please declare so by repeating after me in unison the ODK pledge. I solemnly promise to uphold the ideals and traditions of the Omicron Delta Kappa Society. Through my conduct, service, and pursuit of excellence, in and outside of the classroom. You may now be seated. I will call our ODK inductees forward. Sponsors, please come with your student and stand at the table to my left, where you will find the ODK pins. I will then ask sponsors to place the pin on their inductees' lapels. After receiving your pin, please step to the table and show your commitment to our ODK Society by signing the chapter's membership book. Once you have signed the membership book, you and your sponsor may return to your seat. Okay. Gabriel Badelci Duarte, sponsored by Adam Mills. Channing Barker, sponsored by Robert Dye. Emma Barnes, sponsored by Joshua Pugh. Chandler Davis Bryson, sponsored by Steve Huckey. Igor De Silva, sponsored by Laura Vance. And Elizabeth Hedgepath, sponsored by David Chastain. Cassidy Hutto, sponsored by Cameron Austin. Aiden Jennings, sponsored by Steve Huckey. Otis Kahar, sponsored by Cameron Austin. Kat Kramer, sponsored by Betsy Burrows. Shannon McCarthy, sponsored by Jenny Caskey. Haley Lane Miller, sponsored by Rachel Hilser. Dominic O'Brien, sponsored by Michael Moroshi. Evie Perry, sponsored by James Everett. Rachel Cazzola, sponsored by Adam Mills. China Pouncey, sponsored by Annalie Bollinger. And Ken Shanksky, sponsored by Kyle. And now switching over to faculty and staff, we have Cameron Austin, sponsored by James Everett. Hernan Biava, sponsored by Jennifer Frick-Rupert. And then James Everett, sponsored by Laura Vance. Oh, sorry. Oh, Frankel. Oops, sorry. Abby Fulser, sponsored by Laura Vance. Catherine Gresham, sponsored by Kyle Luss. And Angela Mascaro, sponsored by Debbie Deanna. ODK inductees, I pronounce you members of ODK. Welcome you into our society and challenge each of you to do your part in making our ODK circle strong.
Thank you. I'm Jennifer Frick Rupert, the Vice President for Academic Affairs and Dean of the Faculty, and I get to close this evening's ceremonies. So thank you to everyone for being here tonight to celebrate the accomplishments of the newest members of Alpha Chi and Omicron Delta Kappa. Special thanks to James Everett, who's the faculty sponsor of the club, to Abby Fiesler, who, for all of her efforts to set up tonight's event, and to Rebecca Rojas for her assistance. Thank you all. To our newest members, congratulations again on your accomplishments and welcome into the two most selective honor societies that we have on our campus. As you saw in your program and heard earlier, membership at Alpha Chi is limited to juniors and seniors with a cumulative GPA that ranges in the top 10% of their class. Membership in ODK focuses on development of the whole person with particular emphasis on leadership skills. Thank you for being leaders on our campus, both academically and overall. Again, we are thankful to all the members of Alpha Chi and ODK who are here tonight and have such an impressive group of students, staff, and faculty members who are members. Thanks again. We are now adjourned.
Yeah.